Hello, guys, and welcome to another edition of Pink Sock Reacts. Today, we're talking about a timeless Christmas classic, Santa's Sleigh. This movie was released in 2005. It is starring current WWE wrestler. That's weird to say, but current WWE wrestler Bill Goldberg. He was actually advertising this movie during his run in WWE leading up to WrestleMania 20, which is a fun little fact. When he showed up, he was in the audience wearing a Santa sleigh shirt.
Oh, God.
This movie...
He should have dressed up like that as a wrestler.
He should have. This movie, would you say, was a timeless Christmas classic?
No comment. It's got like some funny jokes in it though. It's got like some really funny cheesy jokes in it though.
It does, cheesy but fun, and we will get into that because I fucking love the comedy in this. All right, the movie, the movie, even the way it starts out is crazy. It starts out with the whole family at the fucking dinner table, and they're all bickering about money and shit, and then Santa just busts through the fucking chimney and starts just slaughtering everybody in that room. Like he does that roll on that table and he stabs that guy's hands, and then he burns that woman's face and drowns her in the punch bowl.
And he does it all in the first couple of minutes of the movie as well.
Yeah, it's the very first scene in the movie, and I don't think we ever find out who this family is though, and why he targeted them.
No,
we don't really see them mentioned again in the movie, but this leads up to the whole, we meet these two kids. Who are these kids? We'll find out later. But we are introduced to these two kids. It's a woman and a guy. They work at this, like a bakery or whatever. They work at some kind of a shop. And the guy's like, you guys enjoy your Christmas, but I have Christmas presents for you. And I forget what he gives the woman. A snow globe, I think it is. Yeah, I got her a snow globe. And he's like, I know how much you loved the other one I got you, so here's this one. And then gave the kid this map thing that tells you the time in every state or whatever. Well, every country and state and everything. And the kids leave. And then we're introduced to this little old lady. She's a treat. She was an asshole to him, but don't worry, she gets hers. She leaves after being a dick to them. Damn, I lost my leaf. Hold on. I don't know where that went, but I lost my leaf. No, anyway, she ends up driving away, and Santa Claus gets up on her tail, and he's like, "Move, bitch, get out the way!" And starts like, he's honking the horn. And he runs her off the road and kills her. Which is kill number what? There's like 5 or 6 people at the beginning, and then there's that old lady.
Family, which is what, 5?
Yeah, about 5 people. So this is like what, 6? I'm not going to keep track of the kills in this because he just kills people left and right. Then he kills that woman, and then we go to the kid is at home with his grandpa, and his grandpa's nuts. He comes home. His grandpa's nowhere to be found. We have kind of like a classic horror movie scene where he's down in the basement trying to turn the lights on, and then his grandpa startles him and he breaks all the bulbs. And then his grandpa shows him this like nutcracker that explodes nuts. That sounded weird, but it explodes nuts because I forget what kind of nut it is, but one of them really explodes in a nutcracker and is very dangerous. And then we go into another room, and the kid discovers all these TVs that keeps track of everything in the house. And he's like, you got to be safe. Then he's like, I want to know about my family. I want to know what's going on, blah, 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 blah. Why you hate Christmas, Grandpa? Well, the grandpa takes him upstairs, farts in his face. I'm not joking. He's like, sorry. And the kid's like, sorry for what? And then he gets a bad taste of that butthole juice or whatever. Like he does. This movie is outrageous. I'm not being vulgar. This is just how the movie is. But the movie, has a fart joke, and then they go upstairs, and the grandpa is reading this book that's in Norse, I think is what he said. And he's reading it, and the kid don't understand. And the grandpa's like, well, you little bastard, if you don't learn Norse, you never will. And then he reads about how God or Mary and Joseph, somebody had kids. And the kids was like Jesus or whatever. And then they had Satan. And Satan had a kid named Santa. So Santa's an offspring of Satan. And the reason why Christmas happened was because of Christ's Mass to help ward off this evil spirit. Sorry, you hear notifications. I'm going to actually turn those off right now. But
that's all good.
Christ's Mass is a lot to do with warding off Satan, which is Santa, I guess. Then this old man challenged him to a game of like some kind of like, there's these two pucks and there's a hole in the ice, and one of them goes up to the hole, and then the other one, if one of them falls in the hole, they lose, but they have to see how close they can get to the hole. I played this game with a couple buddies of mine back in the day at a bar. Not that game. We knew a girl, and we wanted to see how close we can get to the hole without going in. But it's besides the point. Anyway,
I suck at that game.
Right?
Yeah.
But they end up playing this game, and what happens is if Santa loses, he has to quit killing people for 1,000 years. I don't know why it's forever, not forever, but I guess it's for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
The old man, well, Santa's all like, I'll go first. No mere mortal's going to beat me. He slid that thing, and it got real close to the hole. And then the clever old man, who is actually an angel, slides his little puck, and it hits Santa's, and Santa's falls in the hole. So Santa is damned to not kill for 1,000 years. And then the kid finds out that it's been 1,000 years, so maybe Santa's going to kill. He got on his little computer. Now, I might be out of whack with my scenes, so I'm going to be going back and forth a little bit with shit that I remember.
Yeah, that's all good.
But this kid goes on his computer on the Santa Tracker website, and he types in on the Santa Tracker website, is this a real Santa Tracker site? And they're like, how old are you? And he's like 16. And he's like, no, and Santa's real or some shit. It was like some stupid thing. And he goes to bed. Now, something I forgot to mention is his grandpa is an inventor. He invented that nutcracker. And he also invented this thing that plays records when it's on your back and you have these big headphones. It's not practical. It's like a Walkman, but with a record player, which is weird because this movie came out in 2005. Records were already kind of falling out. So it's kind of out of date for its time. But he finds out about this whole Santa thing, and now Santa is standing on this corner ringing a bell, and this burglar tries stealing the money out of the jar, and he fucks this dude up with a candy cane. Like, he stabs him in the eye, headbutts him, and a little kid comes out. He's like, oh, hey, Santa. And she's like, oh, an angel gained its wings. Like, it was a really weird scene. Like, a little girl knew he just brutally murdered somebody, and just nobody cares. Nobody cares about death, apparently, in this movie. And by the way, guys, I do have a quick shout out real quick. I was in a music video recently.
Oh, nice.
Before we continue, keep your eyes open for that. It was awesome.
Who from?
His name's Silent Simba. He's a rapper.
Okay, cool.
It's cool. It's cool. I will actually be posting about it once it's up and done. I don't know how long it'll take. But I'm going to get some shout outs out of the way, and then we can continue talking about Santa Sleigh, because I kind of jumped into the movie. I'd like to shout out Royce In The House. I'd like to shout out In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie, Dabs with Dads. All those are great shows. If I missed any, I'm sorry. They're in the comments below. Well, not in the comments below, but in the description below. We have Can't Afford to Record, Robby Miller. We have a lot of good ones. Now, back to Santa Sleigh. This kid finds out that Santa's a brutal killer, but he doesn't believe it because Grandpa's nuts. Now, we get to a scene in the movie that I remember. I'm trying not to jump too much, but this movie has a lot of scenes that are like just scenes.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't add to the story or take away from the story. So you have to go watch the movie for yourself. I don't really want to jump too far into the movie and stuff, and I'm going to miss a lot probably. But they end up going to the school or some shit.
Something like that.
And they end up running into Santa. And they realize, actually, no, I'm way ahead of myself. The scene where they find out about Santa is when on a CB radio that's in Grandpa's house, they hear about how there was a break-in at the place that they work. And they go in there and Santa killed the Jewish guy that worked there. He took a, what is that called? Menorah. He took the menorah and stabbed it into his throat and killed him. And that scene was crazy because he walks up and he's about ready to like cry on this guy. And the guy's like, Santa's real. And then he dies. And this is when the kid has to go down to the station because a bunch of Jewish fellows saw the Santa leaving the place, but the cops ain't going to believe it. So they took this kid down to the station and the kid met Sergeant. I'm not making this up. This guy's name is Sergeant Dick Zucker. That's his name. Sergeant Zucker. Dick Zucker.
Oh, Zucker. Zucker. I see you said Dick Zucker. I'm like, whoa.
That is how you pronounce it. His name's Dick Zucker. That's this guy's name. And this is where the cheesy humor comes in because his sergeant, there's two sergeants. There's Sergeant Cox and Sergeant Bush. And this fucking teenage kid is like, do you work for Cox or do you work for Bush? And Dick Zucker was like, I work for Dick. Or I work for Cox. Sorry, I work for Cox.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, yeah, but you've worked for Bush before. And he's like, yeah, do you prefer Cox or Bush? And he's like, I love Cox. Like that fucking scene was great.
Fucking hell.
They took this kid in there and met Cox, who was dressed up like Santa Claus. And he's like, Santa's killing all these people. And he's like, you're crazy like your old man. I'll take you down to the station if you keep this up, even though they're already at the station, whatever. But he said he's going to lock him up if he doesn't get out of there. So he gets out of there. He has his girlfriend pick him up. I guess we find out at this moment they're in a relationship, but they're having problems. So he gets into the truck and they drive away. Now, Santa shows up and kills everyone at the fucking police station. Like everyone. And then he hops in his little fucking police car, I guess, and tries to pull these two kids over. He's like, oh, it's Dick. And they look back and it's actually Santa, Bill Goldberg, Santa. And they're fucking driving off and Bill Goldberg runs, catches up with them and gets into the back of the car. This dude's fast. Fast as fuck, boy. Now, I do have to add something. When he killed the guy at the bakery or whatever it is, Bill Goldberg actually speared this man. Like he straight up pro wrestling style speared this man into a wall. And that was awesome. Another scene that I kind of missed, and I'm sorry I'm jumping all over the place. That's just how my mind is today. Because I just watched the movie again for the first time in a while. There is a priest that we saw, and he was at a strip club, and Santa showed up and just burnt the place down pretty much. And the priest survived. Yeah. And he's like, I would like to give a prayer to all the people that died at that sinful place. And he starts naming the strippers' names and shit. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And that's important to the story because later on we see the priest again, and it's kind of fucking hilarious. But the kids are running from Santa. They end up going home after shooting Santa off the back of the fucking truck. They tell Grandpa Santa's following us. The kids then try to escape the house with Grandpa. Grandpa has him go on a snowmobile. Santa meets them at the front of the house or the back, wherever they're at. And him and the old man have a quarrel. Now, this old man is not stepping down. He's like, "Oh, you're still a little bitch." And he starts really talking shit on Santa. And then Santa's sleigh comes out and kills him. And the kids run off to this like school or whatever. Now, have I reached your favorite scene yet? Do you have one?
I think you the part when he went to the strip club.
Yeah, that part.
How he stopped by or something like that. I can't remember the exact words, and he beat up the bouncer or some shit.
My favorite part of that scene was when he walks into the strip club and he goes, "Ho ho hos." And
yeah, just like walking around him and shit.
And then when he starts killing people, he takes the stripper pole that the stripper was just on. And he goes, "Ugh," and he sprays it down.
Yeah. I thought like in like all of his scenes in that movie is like all wrestling moves.
I'm sorry,
you noticed that?
You cut out. Could you repeat yourself?
Like most of his scenes in that movie, it's like it's all of his wrestling moves.
It is, and also he does his own stunts.
Yeah, like the opening scene when he rolled onto the table. That's such a wrestling move.
Yep, and when he speared that guy into the wall before he killed him. But yeah, there are some scenes that I'm kind of missing. So if you want to bring any of them up, please feel free.
If I'm just kind of
talking through the movie and telling my favorite parts that I remember in certain orders. It's not no. I've been bouncing back and forth. If you want to watch the movie, go watch it. This is literally us reviewing and talking about the movie, so it's going to be all over the place. But these kids go to this like school, I think it is. They break in. Santa shows up, and it's kind of funny because Santa shows up and the kids are still running away at this scene. I'm sorry. The kids are running away, going to go to this place, and they have those jet skis that they had from before, and they see all these fucking Santas, and one of them is the preacher.
Yeah.
This was before they made it to the school. Remember that? All the Santas, and one of them was the preacher, and fucking Santa hits the preacher, and he flies over and lands on the seat, and he knocks him out.
Yeah.
And then they go to the school. Santa's trying to find them, whatever. Goes throughout the school. They end up on ice at one point. And Santa shows up.
Yeah, in the hockey rink, correct?
Yeah, in the hockey rink. I don't know where they're at, though. Are they in a school?
That looked like they were in the school.
But what school has an ice?
Or maybe in a hockey arena.
It might have been a hockey arena, because what school has a hockey rink? But anyway, they're on this hockey rink, and Santa shows up. Yeah. And he's got a Zamboni.
Yeah.
And he tries to run these kids over, and something stops him. And it's that fucking puck that the old man that he had the battle with had. Turn around, it's fucking Grandpa. He's an angel. And we find out that he is the angel from the book, which I already suspected at the beginning of the movie. Like, that wasn't really a plot twist, bro. At least not to me. But he challenged Santa to another match. This time, the old man's smart. The old man's like, this time, you can't ever slay anyone ever again.
Yeah.
The old man goes first, and he slides his puck up to it. Santa's dumb, because he could have done the same trick the old man did to him and win.
Yeah.
And the new rule is if the old man loses, he will kill everybody and damn them to hell or whatever. So instead of tossing that thing and cheating like the old man did, Santa grabbed this old guy, hi Jackie, and threw him into the hole, and then started chasing these kids. And the kids like, ha ha ha, and he pulls out that little fucking map thing. He's like, it is currently midnight at the North Pole. Your slaying has to end. And he's like, nuh-uh. All the time zones meet at the North Pole. Christmas ends when I want it to.
Yeah.
And he ends up like running towards the kid. The kid has that nutcracker thing and knocks him out. He runs over, and Grandpa's hanging out of the hole. He pulls him out of the hole. Then Santa flees. Like he just fucking flees. And the old man's like, well, he's bluffing because he can't kill after Christmas, whatever. He's like, we will find him and get him once and for all. And they go to leave, and Angel Grandpa can't get out of that room for some reason, and he ends up disappearing. And these kids are trying to find Santa. And I don't think they ever do.
Yeah.
Because the only other scene that I remember after this one is you get a nice little shot of Bill Goldberg. Now he has his beard trimmed up and it's like all fancy, and he's at an airport.
Was he wearing like one of his merch?
No, he was actually wearing a biker vest.
No, but his
like
beanie.
That cross-load.
The beanie?
The beanie might have been one of his merch. I didn't pay that close attention. But he pulls out a sack or whatever, and they're like, has your sack been out of your eyesight? And he looked at him like, excuse me?
Yeah.
What'd you say to me? But he is flying to the North Pole. Now, this kind of sets the movie up for a sequel that we never got.
I was going to say that, like, you reckon this movie would have gotten a sequel? Maybe have The Undertaker play as Santa Slay.
You actually froze, and all I heard was Undertaker, Santa Slay. Could you please repeat that?
Like, you reckon they would have made a another, like, you reckon they'll do like a sequel, but like with Undertaker as Santa Slay?
Dude, they should do Santa Slay again, but with Goldberg again. But they should do it as a prequel.
Yeah, true. Santa Slay meets Krampus.
Yeah, but I believe Santa Slay should have had a sequel. And I know we skipped a lot. We always do because it's hard to cover a movie scene for scene for scene for scene. This is literally us just talking about our favorite scenes and just discussing it. Is there anything that I missed that you wanted that was your favorite scenes?
Well, the scene when their grandpa and Santa went face to face, and didn't he run him over, and then he stomped him on the head. He goes, "Oh, poor grandpa."
Yeah, when he killed him. That wasn't when they were ice skating. That was when he killed him. He's like, "Oh, poor grandpa."
Yeah, that's another fucking.
And the only reason Grandpa couldn't get away was because one of the sleds, they had two of them, one of the electric sleds didn't work. Yeah. So he wanted the girl to get away. And actually, the guy and girl do share a kiss in the movie, and they're happily ever after as far as we know. I want a sequel.
Yeah, you never know. It could happen.
This movie leaves me wanting more because now Santa every Christmas can slay because it's not 1,000 years anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he didn't win or lose the game.
Yeah.
So I would love to see either that or Santa Slay versus Krampus, like you said.
But like this whole movie made no sense.
What didn't make sense?
The whole thing.
Bro, your favorite scene of a horror movie is Jason Voorhees punching some kid's head off after a disco off. Like,
no, that was Manhattan.
Oh, it was boxing. I'm sorry. I thought they were. For some reason, I'm mixing up scenes of movies.
Nah, like the movie was okay. Like I wouldn't give it a high rating though.
It was amazing, bro. I loved it.
It was okay. Like the CGI in that movie was so bad too. Like the scene when it was like flying into like the crowd with all the Christmas carols and shit. And like they're all running away, and he like burns a Christmas tree, and one guy catches on fire and shit. I thought that was a good scene too. But
bro, by the way, Jackie, thank you. I'm doing great. I love the movie, but the CGI you can't really hate too much. It was 2005, bro.
Yeah,
like this is 2005. And we don't even know what their budget was.
The budget would have been really low.
It had to have been.
Have you got it?
I don't have it in front of me at this particular moment. I'll be honest, I'm really bad. I've been just really busy. I never really had it popped up, but I do have it now. Once I get it popped up. They won't even tell the budget of this goddamn movie. What the fuck? I hate that they do that. Like IMDb should though. IMDb. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
I'm just
normally show you the thing, don't they?
They normally do.
Or Wikipedia.
I'm just looking it up right now. I'm fine. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find out the budget of this damn movie. See, people are saying it's a hilarious B-rated film. That's what the critics say. And then one critic is saying that the jokes were horrible.
They were cheesy, not horrible.
They were cheesy. I loved them. Like, I absolutely love this movie. But I can't find the budget anywhere, dude. So we don't know what the budget is. But the movie I liked. Now, how many grandpas do you give this movie?
How many grandpas?
Yeah, how many grandpas do you give this movie? How many spears? How many spears do you give this movie?
How many
How about
spears of a grandpa?
How many spears, bro? I think you froze
Alright.
on me again. Try it again.
How many spears out of grandpas? I'll give it a 5.5 spears out of grandpas.
How many grandpas is that? 10?
Yeah.
5.5 out of 10, bro. I give it like a 6. Give it like a 6.
Cool.
So I'll just do 5.5 as well.
Yeah, let's just leave it at 6 out of 6 spears out of grandpas.
Okay, that works. That fucking works. But this movie had a great cast, though.
It did, yeah.
Like, it had an amazing cast. You have Bill Goldberg. You have Fran. I can't pronounce her name, but Fran Drescher, I think is how you pronounce her name.
That chick from The Nanny?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the cast right now.
Yes, you have a powerful cast. Dave Thomas. You have Robert Culp. Like, it's a great cast.
Yeah.
So the movie had more potential if it had a bigger budget.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't care anyway because you got someone like Bill Goldberg that wouldn't care about making a big blockbuster movie.
No. Has Bill Goldberg been in other movies is my question. I know he was in like NCIS and shit.
Yeah, he was in Universal Soldier, the second one, I think, with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I didn't know that. I'll have to watch that.
Yeah. Fuck, I can't remember what was his role though, or something like that. But
He was in actually a couple movies. He was in Half Past Dead 2.
The Longest Yard.
He was in The Longest Yard. I forgot about that. So yeah, he was in a few movies. Ready to Rumble
what was that? Sorry.
Ready to Rumble.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that movie, Ready to Rumble?
Not in so long.
Oh, by the way, speaking of horrible CGI and campy, bad Christmas movies, let's get into next week's movie, shall we?
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the next week's movie is in the same vein, kind of this one. It is very similar. Next week's movie is the 1997 Christmas classic Jack Frost. Not that one. Not the kids one. Jack Frost, the Killer Snowman.
Yeah.
Starring Michael Clooney. Do you know? This is an interesting movie. Scott McDonald is actually in it too. No, Michael.
Who played Jack Frost in this?
Well, Michael Cooney wasn't. It wasn't starring. I got that mixed up. I'm sorry. I'm just brain fog. Michael Cooney was the director of this movie. It is starring Scott McDonald. If you're not familiar with who Scott McDonald is, he was in a few good movies. Thor: God of Thunder. He was in like a lot of good movies. This is not one of them. But Scott McDonald is playing Jack Frost. This movie did spawn a sequel. We can cover that too if you ever want to. But yeah, we're going to be covering Jack Frost next week. Are you excited, Jack?
I've actually never seen it, but I have seen scenes of the movie, and it's pretty crazy.
It is crazy. And also, Jack Frost, fun story. During the Blockbuster days or movie video days, people would actually mix up the VHS tapes for that one and the kids one because they came out the same year. They came out same name. So people were literally like, it's the same movie.
You know what they should have done? They should have released like a bundle pack.
Oh God. Jack Frost, and Jack Frost 2.
Yeah.
What's weird is the kids movie never spawned a sequel, I don't think.
I know. But how funny they did like a digital like Blu-ray 4K pack with the kids version and the adult one.
That would be fucking awesome. Like that'd be fucking cool, dude. So next week on Pink Sock Podcast, though, well, Monday, I should say, we don't have a guest yet. I am working on getting guests lined up, but it's going to be me and Gorak talking about whatever the crazy shits we can think of. And we have
going to my first gig in fucking 2.5 years.
So that means we will be live. We will be talking about Ginger. Are you going to be seeing them before Monday or is it after Monday?
It will be on the 30th, so the last day of the month.
So we can talk about that. We can talk about all kinds of shit. But we do have Jack Frost that we're going to be covering Wednesday at noon. Also, check me out on Dabs with Dads. I'm going to be on there Monday. I'm not going to be on there Fridays like I used to be, but I am coming back on a Friday eventually in the near future. Anything you want to add, Greg? Anything you want to promote?
Not really. No.
All right.
I will be making videos soon, but I just haven't had time. That's all. Might be doing some Christmas stuff, but yeah.
Christmas music?
Yeah, like Christmas metal songs and stuff.
You should. God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen by Dio is one of my favorites.
Have you heard of a band called August Burn Red?
Yes.
They've done a couple of Christmas albums, but it's like instrumental.
I have an idea. You should do some Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Dude, I'm not that good.
Like you should do some TSA.
I can fake it like what they do on video clips. But like,
do it. Fucking do it. Fake it till you make it, bro.
Yeah.
But like anyway, that was Pink Sock Reacts. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And go watch Santa Sleigh and go watch Krampus and Jack Frost, because Jack Frost is what we were talking about. Yeah, watch Christmas movies with us. Love you all. And as always, live long, rock hard.
Stay hard.
Yeah, stay hard.